Hey, this is Tracy Lewis from Stuff and Things. It's that time. I unfortunately was driving, so I'm sitting here backed up into our camp spot, videoing in place. So this is actually what our view is right now, and the blue is, yep, that is the water. We're hanging out in the corner, and this is our spot we always get because we like having the waterfront view. So anyhow, back to Paper Pumpkin. Alright, I am inside now, ready to open this box up. We have Sunshine, You Are Loved, Smile, Hello, Sending, a little something to brighten your day, a sun, and some lines. And our Stampin' Spot is Basic Black. Alright, so this is a box of sunshine. It's a Sarah-inspired kit to help you share sunshine. So you make all the cards, and there's some extra pieces in here that you can use to decorate this box, which is yellow, and it will cover up the paper pumpkin and turn it into a decorative box that you get to fill with anything sunshiny that you want to give to somebody to cheer them up. And I will make sure that I keep this tissue in good shape for reuse. Okay. Let's find something to cut this open with. I don't know where my knife cutter went. Alright, so sequins. They look like they are yellowish with the Aurora Borealis finish. Very fancy envelopes. Wow. Okay, let's see. Insides are plain. We have many sheets of the same die cuts. I really like the extra gold foil on these. Alright, we have, these are sticker labels, some long skinny ones and then some rectangular ones. And 2 sheets of those. Multiple card bases. Okay, so here's, if you fold, it's lined. It looks like these are also stickers. And this is a whole sticker front, very thick. More labels, foil. I really like this. This is very bright. And some double-sided adhesive dots. And let's take a quick peek. The kit makes, so I must be missing, I showed you that one and the foil one, which means if it's 2 each, there's 2 different kind of a watercolor inky design. Here's a sun shiny design. So 2 each for a total of 8 cards. So this will be really fun to make the different alternatives because we have already got 4 different styles of card fronts. So that's those. And then just 8 of the same envelopes. The extra, oh, that's what this is for. So this sheet, this very large rectangular label, is for the top of the paper pumpkin box, and so are these. I will now go away, start contemplating some alternatives, and I will come back and share anything interesting along the way that I want to give you any hints or tips that I come up with. And not sure yet whether I want or need any additional products other than card bases and some more cardstock. I definitely can see embossing folders involved, and we have basic black, lots of word dies here, but there might be another stamp set, word stamps, and there might be another stamp set or two that I would like to integrate. So we'll see, and I will be back soon. All right, I have been playing with some beginning stamper single color designs. I started with using the back half of a couple of card bases, and this particular ink spot, at least my version, is very inky and wet. So I then switched, I'll show you what those look like, and then I switched over to using Whisper White just to see if, because this is such an inky spot for me, if the ink did a better job of laying on the Whisper White, and it does. So here are some ideas. This is the first one. It was there's some smudges here, and I'm not really sure how they got there, but somehow I was able to get some smudges. So it's just the black ink is very inky. Here's the back side. You can see up close that the ink soaks into this particular cardstock a little bit. You can see it in the sunshine. But still, if somebody wanted to stretch their cardstock, they could make these into card fronts and put them on plain card bases if they wanted. I really like the sun. I think it's a good, very nice design. Then I did a third one, and I like this one a lot. So then I thought, for fun, I would do a couple on Whisper White, and you can actually tell the color difference between the two papers. And the big difference I see, if you compare the Smile with Sunshine, the Smile has a nice crisp edge. So a Whisper White quality cardstock, and sometimes the paper pumpkin kits don't have such a big difference between the two cardstocks, but in this particular kit, given that the black is so inky, I see a big difference. So here's a Smile. And then for fun, I did some stamping off. The one thing I do really like about the Whisper White, see how when I stamp off it goes from black to a lighter black to a gray, but yet it looks like it is pure ink, all three. There's no splotching going on. So you do get a little better imprint of your stamps if you can get a hold of some Whisper White. Even just get a pack from a Demonstrator so that you can create your own card fronts with just the inks, and they look like a really high quality product. So that is as far as I've gotten, and I'm still working now on some of the alternatives, and I'll be back in a bit. Hey, I'm back. Got my components all put together. I've got a bunch of samples to show you. As usual, nothing is all finalized, so I can mix and match and show you the various combinations that you could consider using. I only added cardstock and embossing folders to those cardstocks. So there's 4 different colors, and I added gold foil, as well as the gold foil laser cut paper. For added embellishments, I only picked some white baker's twine. In fact, I just grabbed some baker's twine from my paper pumpkin stash because I have many rolls of it. and I haven't adhered any of the sequins. So I've already taken a bunch of pictures. What I show you now, there's so many combinations. If I might not have all of the combinations during the video part, and then the picture showcase may have some other combinations. So it's not going to be guaranteed everything because there's just so many possibilities with this kit. The kit is pretty endless. So first I'm going to start with my simple stamping projects and dress them up. Then I'm going to move on to black. I did a series of black and gold. Then we'll move on to the colors. So starting with the simple stamping projects you've already seen, I think it would be very easy to just add any of these simple elements as a splash of color on black and white. And I have a plain sun to show on this one. Just a simple card. And then the smile, which is on the Whisper White, has all different ways you could dress it up. I went ahead and I have a sample of each that you could do. I think that my pineapple is set up opposite. I would have to move this to the other side, but it's already adhered. But you could add any of the elements to this simple card and it would look great. I made on the piece that I cut in half, here's the other half, I went ahead and matted it with Poppy Parade, and you could make a nice card pop of color on black and white again with a bigger chunk of color. I also have on the hello, you could add any of these colored elements with some stamping that kind of coordinates however artistically it fits for you. And that concludes the basic designs. Where I was demonstrating how nice the black stamps off, that's the full black, 1 stamp off, 2 stamp off, and that's all another 1 stamp off. I didn't really see a lot that I could do with this one. You know, in theory, something, if you put them on in the background in a manner that fits them being a background, that would work. Now I will show you some cuts that I did. You have the sun ray. I trimmed it off. The full size of it is here. And I trimmed off a piece and then added some gold foil. So this is a standalone element that I can mix and match. This is a standalone element. So I made 2 out of that card. And then I took the Fat Lines foil and made it into 2 as well. So here is its card front. And then this is a 2-piece focal, just like this one, and I'll show you these 2 being used a variety of ways. This particular front actually is not full width, so I have just a base to put it on, a pretend base, and then it can be dressed up with either the You Are Loved with the lemon. You could put a sun somewhere over on this side with Smile. And on any of these I have a couple of bows to just show. There's a double bow and a single bow. Just whatever twine that you want. If you have, there's some new gold twine. I did not get that out. That would be really pretty with it. Or white. I have a pineapple that would go great. And these are just easy cards to make. Because the focal on them are so ornate, they just, with 3 or 4 pieces, look very pretty and very finished looking. I have a pop-up pineapple with a hello. So the black and white and gold, you can see, works great as a color scheme. There is this larger, so these are stickers, the dots, the black and white dots, and this is the full length of it. I went ahead and trimmed this one down to fit. I mean, you could even go as simple as make that be the card if you want to, and it would work. It'd be great. So with this polka dot, I was thinking you could, still staying with the black and white and gold theme, I wanted to get through all of these ideas first. I like the idea of this really well. It looks very pretty, and you could trim things down in different dimensions. I wasn't very exact. I just kind of winged it and just wanted to cut things into pieces and start playing. You could cut this polka dot in half. You could get a lot of pieces. I think you get 4 polka dots, and I could see doing a lot with these polka dots, even more than what I'm showing. So that is the black and white. I have one last black and white to show, and that is using the very beautiful gold foils and then just popping on any of these elements. I have just a sentiment floating around here. And I can't find it. Just 1 second, I will locate it and be right back. Alright, I found it. And it just pops right up on this, and that's what it looks like on white. I also have a piece of black to just show you what it looks like. This is very beautiful on either color. So this kit, though it has a really fun element, a summery beachy feel, I see how you could really make some nice dressed up cards with it, and there's the version with the black. That almost finishes up. I could do one more. If I take this, rotate it, just to show you how easy you can make the horizontal looking cards. So that looks great as well. And now I will show you, put all these aside, keeping all my focals, and let's move on to colors. Here are the colors. I've even had to break out my trusty catalog for the names of these because some of these are new. I used Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, Mango Melody, and Poppy Parade, and they all are pulled pretty much from the sun and the color treated. I actually think this is an alcohol marker treatment. Picked out those 4 colors, and the first Poppy Parade is Old World paper. I really, really love the depth and 3D of this. It really is beautiful. Then we have Tasteful Textile, which to me, it really looks like a watercolor paper finish. A little rougher than a watercolor paper would be. Scripty 3D, and then Subtle. And Subtle I use all the time. So that's kind of my old friend. I use it almost every kit, it seems. Sometimes I make myself not use it, and that's not that it isn't a good embossing folder to use, because it probably could be used for everything. Alright, so with the Daffodil Delight, I had a couple of design ideas. This one that I showed you on the white, I actually envision being used with the yellow. And I'm going to drop it down so it's a little overlapped. Let's throw on a twine, which you could wrap the twine all the way across and have a knot over here, for instance. And I think that this will probably be one of them that I finish up. I do finish all of these. I keep them set aside and I use them for giving to my subscribers. Every 6 months they receive samples, a sample set of a random set of my cards, and then I do use them for family and friends. Sometimes, like the no matter the weather, I actually used that entire kit and kept a couple in my stash for giving away later, but I gave them out to my card pals. So I use these kits. They get used, and I use up every ounce of material that I can. So that was the yellow, though the yellow, I could see it, I haven't even tried this, I could see it doing something vertical. You got dots, horizontal lines, vertical lines, a lot going on here, and then you can just like pop on a pineapple. Something really fun. I gotta move this in a little bit more. There we go, so you can see it. You gotta see the black. So I really like that. Let's see if see, you could even do this vertical if you wanted to, just for fun. I mean, I like how universal all these are. Now I wanted to show, I did create this matted smile and pictured it being a nice simpler project on the yellow. I see it on the orange, but yellow is my favorite for this. I really like this smile. Trying to use my fishtail, which is hiding. I like the fishtail on the red. The red is trimmed down with a 1/8 border. I just randomly trimmed them to different dimensions. And the cool thing about this one, looking for my plain lemon. I did a pop-up of all of these elements without a sentiment and then with a sentiment. So here is lemon. Just added these 3 pieces, just showing you how the fishtail works. How nice that looks. Going back to vertical. I liked the black, this black mat that I'm using is just to be able to show, having the contrast, to show you what these all look like. I liked this as a really simple card with nice depth to it. And if you wanted to get fancy, could easily, you know, pop up a, see, doesn't that look fancy? And then have a little hello. Have it offset. Perfect. Love it. Add some gold sequins and you're done. This one has a 1/4 inch border. Let's see how this looks like this. I haven't even, some of this stuff I'm straying from what I was going to do. I tend to do things a little bit on the fly. I'm not a good scripter. It's just not my thing. And again, I've already got my standard already made up pieces. Here's a nice fully layered, lots of layers smile. So if you wanted to layer it up, there's nothing saying you can't. Not sure that that is good for that. Nope. And of course, on the, if you want to put your lines that come, these black lines, before on your color, and then you want to do your embossing, that would look great. I'd also had envisioned the possibility of this sun ray with some gold foil on either side, just little strips, and the sun. The sun says smile, but the hello would also work. So I really liked that. That's probably one that I will put together as a finished card. And I showed you all the blacks. I showed you all the colors. I showed you how I cut my different cards down into the various pieces. And I think that concludes my alternative video. What comes next is the showcase. And be sure, if you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them. I love to answer people's comments. I love suggestions. And I hope you enjoy this kit as much as I have enjoyed it. And I still get to enjoy it as I put together the final cards, using up all of the materials. I think that even though it comes with 8 cards, and you do have 8 envelopes, remember you have these fancy envelopes, they're still in the box, that I will definitely use. They're not in a way for me to cut out any of the pieces, so I have not explored that. And I think I could get at least double. And with the cuts on the alcohol marker treated pages, which I still have one of each left, and I can get 3 if I do my fishtail cuts. I could even cut them into squares or rectangles smaller than this. This is actually just cut in half. I could probably get 24 to 28 cards, I'm thinking. So we'll see how much I end up with in the end. And thanks for watching.